Uh-oh. Wrong way. Hi.
You live?
We're live. Aye. But we're not.
Technical difficulties. That looks good.
Jeez.
We're live on FBook.
We are live on Facebook. We wanna...
I wish this frame was wider. Such a
But
narrow
it's not. It is what it is.
thing. Booyah!
Okay, hi. Welcome to our backyard again for a second night together.
Nice sunset.
Hi, yes. Gorgeous sunset here in Texas. Beautiful, perfect weather. Absolutely beautiful, perfect weather. And I've already been bit.
Does this thing have an extension on it? What's biting you, honey?
I don't know. Something.
How's your elbow doing?
Check it out. I have a disease. Look at that.
What happened to all your white stuff?
Look at that. I took it off. I think
Took
I
off
need to
all
go
that-
get a jacket.
Took off all that paste?
Yes, I'm gonna go get a jacket because this is going to hurt.
Dun 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 dun. Say hi.
Stop!
Nice socks! Oh! Oh boy, that's fun. Okay, maybe we should go to change her socks. Be back here in a little bit. So, we're still getting set up. If you're just joining us, we're going to talk about how to get your money working for you instead of you working for your money, and a bunch of other fun stuff. Did you change your socks? Because those are kind of embarrassing.
What?
Did you change your socks? Because those are...
What?
So what are you wearing? What is that? Oh my god. Jeez.
You're not nice. Stop, honey,
Those are
stop.
amazing. Wow. That is
So for the record, I put socks on because I'm already getting bit. That's why. So now I have a jacket even though it's not cold. So, because bugs love me. Thus my giant arm swollen right now. Okay.
Still trying to get this thing set up right.
So we had a really busy day. Like super busy day. Honey, we need to get closer so we're both in front. Here, come. Sit with
Awesome socks, that's right.
whatever. My Walmart socks. I put them on so I wouldn't get bit. There we go. That is important. And that's really important.
Nothing like unnatural light.
There's natural light behind us.
I know. Okay, go, honey.
What am I going about?
Do your thing.
What am I going to say? Anyway, I hope you had a great day. Honey, you're not going to play the same exact game as you played last night because now it's not original. So don't play the same game.
You're gonna make this not fun, huh?
No, you can make it fun. Just try something different. Is that our roof? It is our roof behind us. Here, we should scoot this way. Oh my gosh, I'm already very hot. Okay. Anyway, I don't know if you caught the video that we did yesterday. This is
Aloha.
Hans and Dani. We have been together for 26 years, actually, this month. Honey, that was just a couple days ago. I know, 26 years. And we both started off as complete financial failures, and we financially failed for 10 years, even though we started in poverty, and we ended up learning how to make millions of dollars in business, various different types of businesses, various different types of industries. And we did this in our 20s. We spent everything that we made, and I mean absolutely everything that we made. And I don't know if you caught the video that we did last night, but we stayed on Facebook Live for about an hour last night. And that video has reached 523, almost 524,000 people in the last 24 hours, and almost 29,000 views of that video. So, and over 1,000 comments.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So before we went to bed last night, and we were kind of reading some of the comments and responding to some of the comments, even some of the questions, we just felt compelled, like, let's do it again tonight, tomorrow night, which is right now. that we really do. We want to be about helping our countrymen as well as other countries that we are connected to. We have many clients from all over the world. In fact, there's very few countries around the world that we don't have clients from. And we know what it's like to suffer financially and really to make bad investing mistakes, which we have. We've made many bad investing mistakes. And so we want to share with you some of our failures with investing and how to stop making stupid investing mistakes, which Hans actually had done a video that he posted on his Facebook page. And then I said, honey, let's talk about this. Like, let's just get really real about, from the husband's perspective about investing and the wife's perspective, and then the impact it has on the family, and then some of the things that we learned. So we'll be here for a little bit with you, and we hope that you're blessed by the information that we're going to give you. Just to let you know, our website's in advance. True Wealth Formula is Hans's content that he has, and he teaches classes. And Wealth Builder is his app. You can get it in the App Store. It's called Wealth Builder. And then DaniJohnson.com. If you've never visited that website, it's a free website. And the app, the Wealth Builder, is a free app also, where you can get lots of information. So anyway, you started this whole conversation about how to stop making stupid investing mistakes. So you go for it.
Yeah, so DaniJohnson.com. If you're not on that site, that should be a given. TrueWealthFormula.com, or you can get Wealth Builder, the app, in the Apple Store or Google Play. So I did this video basically titled "How to Stop Making Stupid Investment Mistakes," and then the subtitle was why you need a proven system, not more information. Basically, more information, and we were talking last night about the event that we just did this past weekend, Creating a Dynasty, in Los Angeles, California. There was about 1,000 people there. Yeah. It's a 3-day advanced training that happens twice a year. In one of the trainings that I did, I made a statement that more information is making you poorer, not richer. And if I was to sum up kind of where we're at in the world today, that statement would really kind of sum it up, that we're in a basic perpetual state of information overwhelm and overload. Yeah. It is TMI all the time. Yep. And so what that does, and what it does to our brains is just constantly, basically, we're being bombarded. We talked a lot about this last night, about messaging and programming and being baptized into a religion of consumerism, debt, and consumption. Mm-hmm. And essentially, we were all born into a system that is essentially, since our birth, programmed us subconsciously and consciously to be a debt slave. Okay. And you're in your conscious thought, you can learn things, you can hear information, but your mind is always working against that. And that program is always basically doing things to reset you back into that debt slave state. And so, too much information, more information, right? Everybody thinks, well, I need the answer to this, and I get hit with this all the time. People will come up with questions like, should I do this investment? Should I do that investment? And over the years, I had, last night I talked about a little bit about my upbringing. I grew up in Hawaii, in Kona, on the Big Island. Went to school with no shoes every day, got freaking chased and pounded by the Moks, by the Tahitians and the Samoans and the Tongans, until I got a little older and started doing outrigger canoe and paddling with those guys, and and stuff like that. But I mean, it was a tough way to grow up. From the time I was 8 years old, was selling leis, flower necklaces, to tourists on the street, and I learned really early on that if I didn't sell, I didn't eat. Yes. And I was never good at sales. I'm more of an introverted type of person, but when it's your survival, you do what you have to do. And the good thing in that whole experience was I learned very early on that if I wanted something, I just needed to work for it. And I know Dani's, most of you probably heard her upbringing and the challenges that she had. Both of us essentially, were raised in just total dysfunctional, crazy upbringings.
Both of us grew up on welfare.
Yeah. And so we became entrepreneurs at a very young age. And started to make a lot of money and went through different seasons of, you know, kind of the first experiences where you're finally making money. And, you know, you're finally not, I mean, this is kind of this, we have different perspectives of it. But my perspective is like when you know, initially when you start a business, it's like, if I could just make $10,000 a month, you know, and then you get to that and you're like,
where did it go?
You know,
it was like nothing.
Okay, let's make 20. Let's make 20,000 a month. You know,
Exactly.
And so when you were raised on food stamps, like that's a crap ton of money. You know,
Until you make it. Until you make that
Yeah.
much, and it's not what you think it is. Well, first of all, like half of it goes to the government.
Yeah, so
That's
you work.
so disappointing.
You work so hard to learn the skills. You know, you
Yeah.
get started a business, and that business blows up. You know, you get started in a different business, and somebody steals from you, scams you, you know, embezzles you. I mean, like we could tell you stories for days of just the, you know, hard knocks and the lessons that we had to learn on just the business and the entrepreneurial side of it. And so it hardens you. You learn what you have to do in order to survive in that environment. You know, initially, you know, I remember, oh, we're making all this money. And then it's just like it takes years to get to a point, unless you were raised, unless you were groomed and trained, which we weren't, we had to learn on our own. Where you're behind every year on your taxes.
Yes.
You know, like every freaking year you're paying
Yes.
last year's taxes
Or a
plus
couple
interest
years.
with this year's income, you know? And so you realize right away, like the money you're making is not really the money you're making, you know? So, so over the years we went through different, you know, cycles, and, you know, I had a mentor when I was growing up in Hawaii who told me, you know, the key to wealth is to get your money working for you instead of you working for your money. And that always stuck with me in my mind. But the first part of that riddle, and it is a freaking riddle, okay, is, okay, well, to get money working for me, I first have to have the money. So we spent, you know, many years in, you know, doing that and really just breaking free. It takes a lot just to break free from that consumption mindset, because, and we talked about last night, that the more you make, the more you'll spend. You will never out earn your mind's ability to spend. And you could, you know, you can watch the video from last night if you want to get that backstory. So, so then what happens is that so we're in this world today where there's just all this information like everywhere. And the video that I posted the other day was that you need a proven system. If you want to stop making stupid mistakes with your money, you need a system, not investment tips, right? Everybody's looking for that. See, like Bitcoin right now, people I've even seen in the comment stream, right? Digital, you know, cryptocurrencies, right? And we can address that a little later. But so whatever the hot thing is what people are hearing about. And they're like, oh, should I do this investment? Should I do that?
Or let's pause. Or like the new, latest, and greatest network marketing opportunity. Man, I remember when vending machines were like, wow, you know, or the 900 lines. Yeah.
Oh,
you
man,
know,
I was going to do I had the greatest 900 line idea one time.
It really did. I mean, there's always something that someone is promoting that is supposed to be the latest and greatest, most phenomenal thing. I'm not going to go there.
Let me back up. So I think I made this statement, either it could have been last night or it could have been on my video, but the very skills that it takes to succeed in business, okay, or even as an employee, where you learn the skills that Dani teaches at First Steps to Success, and you double your income, you triple your income, you raise your income, okay, or you grow your business. Those very skills that it takes to succeed in that are the exact opposite skills that it takes to be a good investor.
Yes.
And so we went through our share of learning experiences. So over the years, I started to develop this idea in my mind that I eventually end up calling true wealth formula. Because at first I thought, well, wealth, but then I thought, well, true wealth. And it forced me to think about and define, well, what is true wealth, you know? And it's so much more than just the monetary, than just the tangible, because there's an intangible side of wealth. There's the wealth of the heart. There's the wealth of the spirit. There's so much more to wealth than just what our society tells us it is today. And so so I started to develop this concept and kind of this idea. And last night we kind of shared with you kind of the first a couple tips from the first part of that, which is how to set up systems of how you manage your money, okay? So that you can every single month increase your wealth. Right? And not have a single month go by where your net worth isn't increasing.
Honey, as I'm watching some of these comments, I feel like it's important to interject here because there's a lot of talk about, what kind of business and what's better than the other. I just clearly want to make this very clear. Business and wealth are two different topics altogether. And I mean altogether. We used to think, especially because we actually entered in the direct selling business as our first business. When I was 19 years old, I started in business, and it was in the direct selling industry. And, it was so promised that there would be, retirement, residual income, all of this stuff. And I made a lot of money in that industry. We both did. We made a lot of money in that industry. But what I can tell you is that's business. That does not create wealth. Business does not create wealth. It's what you do with the money that you generate. Business is nothing but a cash flow opportunity, and that's it. And so oftentimes people get married to their business and they sacrifice everything for their business, no matter what that business is, whether it's real estate or you're selling skincare, insurance, travel services, legal services, water filters like I did, 28, 29 years ago, weight loss programs, fitness programs. I mean, there's everything under the sun that can be sold. And what I can tell you is don't mistake the two. What we had to learn was that business is a cash flow opportunity, but that's not how wealth is created. Wealth is what you do with the cash flow. That's how wealth is created. And so oftentimes I watch so many of our clients that I've coached and that Hans has coached throughout the last 2 decades, where I've seen people, and again, we made the same mistake where we really put all our hope in business. We put all our hope into that venture of nutrition or environmental products or skincare products or herbal products, whatever the products were. Our whole hope and our promise to our future of financial independence was business. And that's where we screwed up completely. Business is not the hope to the promise to the better future. Your business, no matter what the model is, whether you're in real estate or you're in network marketing, have a home-based business or you have an online business, that is nothing but cash flow. That is not, by any stretch of the imagination, the way to create wealth. It's nothing but a vehicle to deliver cash into your bank account, and it's what you do with that cash. The prime example is what you were talking about last night with Johnny Depp. Hans is in the middle of writing a book, and he allowed me to read the preface of it, and he's talking about that story that he talked about last night. So look at it. You're talking about Johnny Depp and so many of these incredibly talented actors who then hire incredibly talented attorneys, financial advisors, accountants, and they all screw up. Everybody screws up. And what is it? I mean, his nut every month that he had to clear was $2 million a month.
Negative $2 million a month cash flow.
Negative $2 million.
Just to support his...
Wow. So negative $2 million a month for his cash flow. So look, he has a business, right? He's in the entertainment business, and in the entertainment business, he has an obscene amount of cash flow coming into him, but it's what he's doing with his money that is now declaring him broke versus financially independent. So please separate the two. This is the mistake. It took us a really, really long time to understand that business does not equal financial independence at all. It is a completely separate issue. The other thing I'm going to ask for you to do, 2 things. Number 1, do not come onto this chat to promote your business, especially network marketing. Do not promote it. We will delete you and block you very, very quickly. You are not here to promote any business at all, and you're not here to try to get clients from our page. This is a safe place. This is a page that has been created that we have nearly 500,000 people that congregate on this page, and this place is a secure environment where people are not going to be recruited into something, recruited into some kind of investment, recruited into some kind of a business opportunity. So please honor the rules of engagement on here. If we're going to give our time as multimillionaires with almost, for me, 30 years of experience in business, and not only 30 years of experience in business, but 30 years almost of helping other people to succeed, We are given of our time freely. So be here to receive, to learn a different way of thinking, to actually walk in honor as hopefully a business person or an aspiring entrepreneur. Do not be an amateur. You will look silly and stupid and immature if you're trying to promote your business, your product, or your opportunity on this format. Number two, the second thing that I'm going to ask that you do, if we're spending our time freely here, why are we doing this? Because we actually care about your family. You know how many times that we have encountered clients and friends who sat even under our teaching, who sat under the understanding of the mistakes that we made, because we teach from our mistakes. We teach from the lessons that we learned. We're not teaching from a book that we read. We're teaching from trial and error and what we have found to be a proven formula that has worked for us for right now. And this again is 30 years of experience, almost 29 for me. Hans, well, he started his first business when he was 8 years old. But I mean, technically a legal business when he was 18.
Are you saying that was an illegal business?
I'm not saying it was an illegal business, but I'm just saying that
What are you saying?
you weren't paying taxes on selling flowers to tourists, is what I'm saying. So technical is what he says to me all the time.
So technical.
So technical. So we're here because we care about your family. There's not a lot of people out there that do, and we have felt taken advantage of by people before. We have actually been taken advantage of many times out of honestly some of our own stupidity. Look at the nice roof coming out of your head now that you're sitting back. We know what that's like, and honey, here he goes again. You have to try some new tricks. Those are the tricks you played last night.
You making fun of my tricks?
Yeah.
You saying you don't like my tricks?
I like your tricks.
I know you do.
So we're gonna talk about the impact that some stupid financial investing or stupid investing mistakes had on our marriage, how I felt as a wife when these investments were going on, how he felt as a husband, Hans Johnson, the pressure that we both put ourselves under, because no one can put you under pressure. You are in charge of your own feelings. You're in charge of your own decisions. So we want to share that openly with you, that maybe you can learn from some of our mistakes, and maybe you're right in the middle of making one right now, and we might be able to help you not make that. What are you looking at? You're looking at the sunset. The other thing is, please share the video right now. I'm just going to pause this right this minute, and what I would love for you to do is just hit share. Share it. Why? Because there's nobody in the White House currently, between that entire administration, that is doing anything to help guide us, you and I, Hans and you, your family, your children, into financial security. There is nobody anywhere in whatever nation it is that you are a part of that I am aware of that is actually caring and doing whatever it takes to help the citizens get out of debt, to help the citizens grow their businesses, to grow small business, because small business is what helps to grow the economy. There's nobody out there that is doing what it takes to make the sacrifices of themselves and their time to actually pour that time into everyday average families who are suffering, who are hurting, who are lost, who are confused, who are suffocating under the burden of debt, who are feeling desperate about their future, and are pretty much either drinking themselves into an oblivion, using some kind of other ulterior thing to fill a void that is inside of them, whether that mechanism is shopping or it's entertainment or it's drugs or alcohol. We're going to do what we can to help people. So I'm going to look right here. If you've shared this video, Scott Baker has, thank you. Ramona Juki, thank you. Gustavo Rosales, thank you. Isaiah Holden, you're awesome. Tracy Zushnitz, I know you're sharing this video. Doc Maddie shared it, okay? Paula Tucker, thank you so much. Moira Elliott, thank you. Patsy Bell, thank you. Come on, Paul Graber, I know you're doing it because you are on our page every single day. Krista Blazer, Sonia, you want to be done drowning in your debt? Share the video. Okay, Taryn Liker, hey girlfriend, so proud of you. Taryn and her husband paid off all kinds of debt using this. Prentice Geary, Daniel Mitre, Joanne Tulio. What are you doing? Why are you looking at me? Amaris, Megan Dale, Stephanie Roy. What are you doing? Lacey White. I do?
Yeah, kind of cute.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you being serious? I haven't had a kiss in like an hour. Thank you. A little pink on you there. That's really nice of you. Okay, so keep sharing the video. Keep sharing the video. We want to see the views increase. If we're going to spend our time here tonight, we want to see those views increase. I'm going to adjust some lighting as it's getting darker and darker. I think that's good. No? Whoa, it's a bit much. We don't know how. We're not doing this professionally. We literally have our nightstand lamp out here with us to kind of counteract the light that's behind us.
Professional is overrated.
Professional is overrated. We could talk about that, couldn't we?
We could.
We will talk about that sometime. Yeah, and the bottom line is that if you want to see more of these videos, it's all going to depend on how much you share the videos, how many comments that we're getting. It's all going to depend on how far the videos go. We don't need to waste our time, and so all that we're asking you to do is you just share it. Shalom here from Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Hi, Johannes. Okay, yes, shared. Thank you, Mindy, for sharing the video. Keep sharing it. We want to watch the views climb again and again and again. Honey, I see a lot of wrinkles. I want this to go like this.
What's next, honey?
This is next. By the way, we didn't tell you this is your first time listening.
Scarecrow.
We have 5 children and we have 8 grandchildren. All 5 of our kids are grown and gone. We have our number 5 is visiting right now. He's on a little bit of a sort of
He's a
break.
halfer.
He's a halfer.
He's half in and half out.
He's
currently.
half in and half out currently. Yes. Okay. So, hey, Billy Legos. Good to see you. All right. Awesome. So yeah, just share. Even go to your wall right now and start writing like you got to listen to this. Whatever it is you want to say. Hey, stop making stupid investing mistakes. 2 millionaires are willing to share their time freely with us right now. If that's what you want to write, write something. I'm sweating, hiding from mosquitoes right now.
Okay. So let's. So.
Where I took it over was the business is not wealth.
Thank you. So the thing to write down is income is not wealth. That's a law. Okay.
Yep.
So because what happens is you start to think that your income from your business, which is unstable, it's very volatile,
Always,
it's
no
up
matter
and
what
down.
business it is.
Okay. That's not wealth. So what you have to do is you have to have systems in place that take money off the table. Okay. One of the things I talked about at the event was that there's a saying that if you're a gambler and you go to a casino, there's a saying that the house always wins. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is that our mind will default to what we've been programmed to do.
Yep.
So we can be in an environment where we read a book, or we go to a seminar, or we talk to somebody or whatever. Mm-hmm. As soon as we step out of that environment and we go back into our normal life and our normal routine, and we get around our normal friends and our normal circle and our normal social circles and the normal influences in our life, we're going to go back into our default program.
So true.
Okay? So, and the way that relates to your money is that we think that we make logical decisions. We think that we make rational decisions when it comes to our money. We will look at information, we'll think it over, we'll do it, but we don't make rational decisions. We make emotional decisions. Yeah. We're totally, this is human nature, okay? Yeah. This is human psychology, okay? We're totally irrational, okay? We get excited about things, and then we call those investments, but they're really not investments, they're speculations. Like 99% of the people that I end up talking to and of the things that I did over the years, for years, was speculations. And I knew that I should be focused on cash flow.
Honey, you got to explain because not everyone understands. No, what is a speculation?
So there's 2 types.
It's a guess. It's a hope.
So there's 2 types. So speculation is it's a type of asset that you think is going to go up in value. Okay. So if you're buying something, if you're buying a house because you think it's going to go up in value, you're investing in gold and silver because you think it's going to go up in value. You are investing in the stock market because you think it's going to go up in value. You're partnering with somebody because you think it's going to make money. You're buying Bitcoin because, oh my God, it's gone up like 20% in 1 week. Okay. If the reason why you are making that investment is because you think it's going to go up in value, it's not a real investment. It's a speculation, okay? An investment pays cash flow, Okay, so there's a difference between an appreciating asset, which is an asset that you think is going to go up in value, versus something that pays you every single month, right? And there's only very few assets every month, types of, quote, investments. And that's how we define a real investment in True Wealth Formula. And that's what the wealthy do, is they focus on cash flow assets, okay?
Can we talk about what an asset is versus a liability?
So an asset, there's different... So there's a technical definition that accountants use, and then there's other definitions that wealthy people use. So the simple definition.
Let's talk to the normal guy like you and I when we knew nothing about assets and liabilities, because that's probably who's watching, not accountants or anyone who has a finance degree. Go ahead.
So the simple definition.
Walmart language.
So the simple definition is an asset is something that puts money in your pocket, and a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket.
Example.
So a house is a negative cash flow asset. Okay. If you might buy a house thinking it's a good investment, and all of a sudden the market turns against you, and you have to sell it for less than you bought it. And we've done that before. And meanwhile, it's costing you money every month. Taxes, insurance, repairs, maintenance. Okay, all kinds of things.
A car is a liability.
A car is a depreciating asset. Okay, there's 4 types. Yeah, so we talk about this. There's 4 types of assets. Okay, there's consumer, which isn't really an asset. It's stuff you consume. You eat it. Okay, it's food, it's bills, could be travel. You get an experience out of it, but when it's all said and done, it's gone. Okay, there's depreciating assets, which are things like cars, vehicles. And this is what the middle class do. Once they start making a little bit of money, they start buying nicer cars. They start living in nicer houses, okay? They'll buy land, okay? Hoping that it goes up in value. But you can't control the price. That's the issue. So if it goes up in value, then it's the third type, which is an appreciating asset. It's appreciating. It's increasing in value. But what if you have to sell it at a loss? Then it was, and the whole time you were holding it, it was negative cash flow because you were getting hit with property taxes every single year. So that immediately qualifies it as a speculation. And the difference of whether it's going to be a depreciating asset or an appreciated asset, it depends on the price you get when you sell. You can't control the price, okay? So it's immediately a speculation. So a cash flow asset, which is the 4th type, is going to pay you, okay, monthly, quarterly, annually. So what is that? That could be a dividend stock portfolio. It could be a rental property. It could be a promissory note that you're earning interest every month. There's several different types of these different types of assets. And so what the wealthy do is they focus on cash flow assets. But here's the problem. Here's the rub. Okay.
Christina's on. She's saying, "Hello, parentals."
So here's
that's our daughter on there, by the way.
So here's the problem, and this ties back into what I was talking about earlier, is that more information is making you poorer, not richer. Okay. Because our brains like to get stimulated, okay? And we get stimulated by information, okay? We see advertisements, we hear stories, we hear all this stuff, and it hits like a dopamine thing in our head, right? Oh man, I just heard about this great opportunity, I'm gonna buy some land, or oh geez, whatever. And we don't have the education, we don't know how to differentiate between these different types of investments. And so what happens is and this relates to the business issue too. The most successful business owners, so what happens in business is they're opportunity focused. And the same thing happens in investing. It's opportunity versus strategy. Okay. And the person with the strategy, with a blueprint, with a game plan, is going to just clean house over the person that's just opportunity, like I'm doing this, and then you talk to them 6 months later doing something different, whatever. And so no, that doesn't mean that in business that you don't have to hit those opportunities and take advantage of it. But the thing is that to have a system, a foundation, a framework, okay, and that's the wealth building side too. So what happens is that this is the problem with these assets is that, and this is the key, is that speculations, they're really exciting.
Yep. You should talk about some that you've gotten excited about.
Okay. So, and sometimes you can win big, right? Like we bought a property in Bora Bora, right? We went there, we renewed our vows on our 13th wedding anniversary, and we went to, and she always wanted to go to Bora Bora, like forever. She didn't even know where it was. She's like, I want to go to Bora Bora. I'm like, honey, do you know where that's at? She goes, no, but I want to go. And
I was very geographically challenged for a long time until I started traveling the world. Now I know where everything is.
Got her to travel a little bit. Now she's like, oh, I know where everything is.
I actually want to travel more than
down,
he
honey.
does now.
So we go to Bora Bora, okay? And Bora Bora is like this incredible place, okay? I grew up in Hawaii. Hawaii's beautiful, okay? The Hawaiian Islands are amazing.
Not after you've been to Bora Bora.
Go to Bora Bora. Bora Bora's got like 49 different colors of blue in the lagoon. Like there's colors of blue there that your brain, what happens is your brain gets jacked up because you've never seen that blue before. You've never seen those colors, and your brain just kind of goes, and it breaks for a little bit.
True.
And you just kind of you start kind of drooling a little bit because you're just like.
I started crying because the beauty was so.
You either drool or you cry. Okay, so what happened? So we're there, and we just this amazing, like just this incredible, awesome, really awesome trip. And so towards the end, we're like, hey, what are we gonna do to buy property here?
No, we were like, I wonder what it costs to own a house here. That's how the whole thing started. Let's just start talking to someone in real estate.
So we start looking around, we look at a couple places, we find this one place. I was like, honey, I want it, So
it's only money and we know how to make it.
So anyway, we buy this property, okay, and we're thinking, well, we can use this. We're gonna use this for executive retreat, for coaching. We're gonna turn it into we thought we could turn the property into a very high end executive rental, and do some stuff. It had an awesome caretaker. It was this incredible place. So anyway, this property, this thing drove me crazy. Okay. We went there for Christmas, took the kids there for Christmas, summer. We were there like 2 months in the summer, right?
2.5.
Brought friends, we did a whole thing with a mentoring program with some of our top clients. And it was amazing. Incredible memories. But for me, I went nuts, okay?
But wait, we should talk about why you went nuts.
Oh my God. So a couple
well,
things.
let's talk about that.
I'm trying. Let me talk. So first of all,
Dottie Thorpe was there.
Yeah.
Dottie and her husband were
so the internet, I couldn't get the internet to work very well, okay? And I was the CEO of our business at the time, trying to manage 30 employees and keep, the wheels on the tracks, basically. Doing 60, 70 hours a week. So that was a problem. I was trying to get this property into cash flow, trying to get get it up, right? And so this is a classic case of, you can do all your number crunching up front, you can get data from people and all this sort of thing, and all the numbers check out, but there's always a gap between your numbers. And this is the thing, amateurs don't even run numbers, okay? But on your journey, from being an amateur investor to becoming a professional, you'll start to run numbers and you'll start to do calculations. But then what happens is somewhere along the way, you realize that numbers are always they're never right. They're like never right. Never, not one single time, okay? So you can get, projections, pro formas, you can get all this stuff. And you need to realize that it's just somebody's opinion. Right? Yeah. All it is information. Yeah. Okay? And it might be right. You might actually do better, but you could do a lot worse. What if you do a whole lot worse? Okay? So we get this property, okay? This property was multi-million-dollar property, okay? And we were like, we're gonna pay this thing off in 3 years. Boom. Yeah. We don't like debt. Boom. We're gonna pay this thing off 3 years. Da 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 da. We had this whole business plan, this whole thing, okay? So now all of a sudden, I'm like pulling out all the hair that I don't have to try to make this thing work. I'm going nuts, okay? Yeah. It's negative cash flow. Yeah. Like it's just totally nuts.
And it's really far away. Like,
super far
away, hard to get to.
Okay, it's different language, different legal system. Yeah. Okay, we weren't even supposed to own it as Americans. You're not even allowed to own it. It's a foreign property. There's all these foreign tax reporting stuff, okay? I have to hire these attorneys. They're giving me information. Just on and on and on. I could tell you this story forever. So
I have to butt in here because Hans is, I don't know if you've been through our GEMS training that kind of helps you understand different types of personalities, but my husband is what we call a Ruby. So he's like totally challenge oriented. So did you hear everything he just said? So why did he do it? Because we were Americans and you're not supposed to own property out in French Polynesia. So that was a challenge to him. Okay. It's a foreign country, foreign language. It's French. So what? I'm going to figure it out. Right. And he couldn't just buy the property as a home for the family to be a part of. No way. He has to tinker with this sucker and turn it into something better, as though it needed to be any better. No, it did not need to be any better. So he literally drove himself crazy. Let's put it this way. The property as it was, Danny DeVito rented the beach for a half of an afternoon for $7,000. There was nothing wrong with this piece of property, but Hans, heck no. He has to tinker. He had to make it better than what this. And there was an Arabian princess that rented just the outside. Like they didn't rent the inside of the house. They just rented the outside of the house. You know, where she came with her entourage, and there could be no men on the island. Our caretaker actually had to leave. You know, so she could let go of her veil. I mean, there was nothing wrong with this property. So that's another factor to consider about making mistakes with investing, is that you got to know what your personality is and know what you're being driven by. That if you're that kind of a person that is motivated by a challenge, and you're looking at this giant challenge as, yeah, I can do it, what would you say to that?
Well, we gave each other permission to share each other's perspectives before we started this night. So that was her perspective. That's why she bought it. But
no, I wanted it.
Yeah, she wanted it. When I ran the numbers, I was like, if we're going to do this thing happened. It was based off of all that information and those stories. But this is what I just said. The difference is between the information you get and what you make your decision on. But what we did was we made an emotional decision, like, well, oh, it's so beautiful. But in my mind, I was saying, this is how this has to play out. This is how the numbers have to play out. So the truth of the matter is that I was going nuts trying to make this thing work. So, but in the end,
which for me, I had a great time.
She didn't care. She was like, just like everything.
I was on the beach.
She didn't have to worry about anything. She was like, she had no idea. She was like, you know.
I was in tears like daily. My prayer time out on the beach, 6:30 in the morning, right? Like losing track of time. And there's Hans.
So what happened in this situation is we broke all kinds of rules.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a perfect scenario. Like in True with Formula, there's some investing rules. But what happens when you get emotionally into something, you'll break your rules.
Yeah.
You know. So that was many years ago, and since then
Sounds like getting married.
Yeah. Totally. So over the years, so fortunately we were able to sell that property in 2 years to a billionaire, and we made almost $2 million on it. We made a lot. But we almost lost everything on it. Okay. That property almost, like, and it's too long for the story to tell. Someday we'll tell the whole story, but it almost, that one thing almost wiped out everything. Yeah. Okay.
We went all in with everything that we had on one thing. That is a big mistake.
So there's a thing right there.
Mistake.
So what rule is that?
Not only that, but we put ourselves under a tremendous amount of pressure, and we signed up for payments with the owner. He financed us at the tune of $150,000 a month. We learned a lesson there. We also learned a lesson about the exchange rate. Like, that was dumb, because again, the French money, went like this, and actually it went like this. So we were actually paying more than what we originally thought we were going to pay, because again, like you said, emotional decision, and not really looking at what that kind of pressure would be on us. We did not calculate well, actually more of on Hans. I've been of the, and you would say this, you have said this to me before. Hans,
you're the click add to cart girl.
But I'm also the walk by faith girl.
Yeah.
So, like, I've not been one to worry about money since I was homeless. I've not been one to take on a lot of financial pressure. And so to me, it's like, I don't know. I know, well, and I don't want to make myself sound different than it should be. I don't know how to say this. You have said to me before that I've just always been I've just choose not to worry about money, and just know that money comes, and just to know that God is truly my provider, and I'm not concerned about it. And Hans, at that season of his life, wasn't there.
Yeah, no, I wasn't, and I was
fear.
I was living. Okay. So again, this was many years ago, and I was living under this thing of, this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
We've saved all this money, right? So the same thing, the thing that we gave you guys last night, the rules on how to basically manage your money so that you're not overspending and you're not living above your means. Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to make a. Okay. So we did that. We had this money. We had all these savings, and that's something I should mention. What happens is, if you follow these steps, there's like 3 stages, okay, where you set up these rules and you automate. And what it happens is it causes your wealth to increase every single month, every single year. And you can start to compound that, and it'll start to snowball. Most people are on the other side of that, to where debt, because we've been programmed to be a debt slave and a consumption slave. So what's happening is that compounding interest is working against us. Okay. But if you follow these rules, you get that thing flipped over. You start doing that. So anyway, but what happens is that capital starts, your savings, called capital, okay, starts to grow, and you ever heard the saying, I got money burning a hole in my pocket? Right? Everybody's heard that before. So that's what happens is it builds pressure. And you're thinking, I got to do something with this. I can't just sit here. And you're thinking this, you're having these thoughts. So at that point in time, again, many years ago, my wife's like excited about, we're in Bora. I'm thinking, I mean, as a husband and a man, I'm thinking, we can do this, right? I can do this, I can manage this.
That was after he bought me my dream ring, by the way.
and so, you can do a quote good thing for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
And I growing up in poverty on welfare, man, I tell you what, it's hard to learn these things, really hard. So, okay, so there was that. So that was a good example. And
you were like gripped with fear.
Oh yeah, totally.
Talk about that.
Fear is a cruel master. Fear makes you basically, no matter how much money you make, you're never satisfied. You're never happy. You're always worried about it. And the type of investments you'll make are all fear-based. Yeah. And you'll essentially, and it causes you to be easily manipulated, okay, by others and your own emotions, and generally just unhappy. I talked about last night, the rich, miserable bastard, that's not fun. That's somebody who's got more money than they need. And, if you're an American, you have a lot. You're in the top 1% in the world. If you're in a Western culture, even if your earnings aren't high. And so miserable because you're not happy, I wasn't happy for years. I was just under so much pressure,
that you put yourself under. Like you weren't a victim.
No.
Like this was.
I was then, but I'm not now.
Yeah, but I mean, I had
all kinds of reasons and excuses then.
But you put yourself under that pressure, like your goals and the timelines you gave yourself, and what you were living under was at your own discretion. It wasn't like someone else was putting this on you. It was your own choice to live like that. It's a really important topic to talk about, because a lot of people do that. They don't even know that they're doing that. They have no idea that they have put themselves under pressure. They think other people have done it to them. No one can make you do anything. No one can make you feel anything. You make your own choices. You think the thoughts you think, you act on those things, and a lot of it is assumptions. Right? I mean, like, for example, if you said, honey, I don't think that's a good idea right now, let's not buy this property, why wouldn't you say that to me?
That's a really good question. Perfect example. Because I was afraid and I didn't know how to communicate. I didn't know how to own my own crap. I didn't know how to say, I don't feel right about this right now, and these are the reasons why. And I had a lot of just stuff. I was a stuffer. Just stuff. And she's a very strong woman, like when she communicates, like it's like, and so it took me a lot of years, to learn myself, and to learn, for us to learn how to communicate, So.
But what do you really think I would have said? Because I actually said it to you several times. That if you're not comfortable with this, let's not do this.
You did say that?
Many times. And we even prayed.
We did.
We did.
And all the doors
Yep.
opened, and it was like, okay, Father, if this isn't from you, shut that door, and then the door would open. And that's another thing. You know, you can see a lot of things that you want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
Just sit down on that one for a minute.
Yeah, just camp out on that.
Just camp out on that one right there. You
know,
can make yourself see.
You can see whatever you want to see. You know, you
So
can open up.
true.
You can open up that Bible, and you can create 1,000 different versions of the same, you know,
Exactly.
message. You know,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
build a whole monumental, you know, doctrine and whatever off of a certain. Oh, I found it. Oh, my friend said. You know, so that's the thing. You know. So there's, you know, so wisdom comes from these mistakes, right? And one of the things I talk about now is, you know, you're going to make mistakes. So you want to make small mistakes, you know, minimize the tuition payment. That situation, had it gone wrong, it was a big tuition payment. And that situation led to a number of other things that ended up costing for years.
Yeah, still
so
learning a lesson out of it.
Yeah. And so back to the theme of, you know, how to stop making stupid mistakes with your investing. One, the first thing is know the difference between an investment and a speculation, okay? An investment pays you cash flow. This is the key difference, and I'll be talking about this in the class that's starting tomorrow night. How you know it's a speculation is your purpose, your reason for buying it is you think it's going to go up in value, okay? How you know it's an investment is you've calculated up front and you know what what it's going to pay in cash flow. Okay? So if the value changes, if it fluctuates, you're getting paid cash flow. For example, if you own a house and it's $100,000 value for the house and it's paying you and you have a rental property, okay? And you're clearing $400 a month. Positive cash flow. Okay? I don't know what that return is annually, but if the market changes and then the next month someone comes up to you and says, hey, your house is only worth $80,000 now, you're gonna be you're gonna be like, that kind of sucks, but it's paying me. What else are you gonna do?
Exactly.
You know, you bought it for the cash flow, and you bought it as a long-term strategy as part of your wealth building plan. Okay, and you're compounding that cash flow over time. Okay, same thing with dividend stocks, right? And a few other things.
Can we stop here one second? I would like that if you are enjoying this video with Hans and myself, which he's given some incredible information right now, please share the video. If you've already shared it once, share it again. Let's get this information out to our friends, to our family members that we care about, our coworkers. People are suffering financially right this very minute. They have made some terrible financial investments. It has cost some people even their marriage. In fact, I bet you anything, there might be someone you know, but you are not aware of the fact that there's a couple about to get a divorce because of making a bad investment, because an investment that took precedence over the marriage, and now this couple are splitting up and their children are going to be raised in two separate homes. So if you have already shared the video, please share it again right now, and if you haven't shared it, please share it now. Please like it right now, please share it right now. I can see there's a list of people in there right now. Tommy Migrant, hello, with some clients who've been with us for a really long time. Chantel Spencer, thank you. Marissa from Canada, thank you. There's all kinds of ages and shapes and sizes. But I'm serious. We've had really terrible times in our marriage due to bad investments that have been made, and also not knowing how to communicate with each other during those times, during those hard financial times. And so we want to help not only you, if you're in that place where this is helping you, but don't keep this information to yourself. Share it. I'm not kidding you. There are people who've committed suicide over bad investing. Big, huge investment mistakes that they've made. So this can actually save a life. You have to know that. People have jumped out of buildings because of what they lost in the stock market. No joke. People have slit their wrists, put a gun in their mouth. I'm not kidding you. They have done these things because of bad investment mistakes. And so if we could do together as a team, it's not just Hans and I, it's us and you. Every single one of you that are watching, even you who think I can't see you, you who think that you don't matter, you that think you're just kind of, watching from a distance and we don't know that you're there. We know that you're there. Hold on. So please share this video right this minute, because you have influence with the people that are in deep, deep trouble right this very minute. Thanks for doing that.
Awesome. Okay, so you mentioned fear a little while ago. So what happens when you, so here's the thing. What happens when you don't have a system, okay? And so these different experiences for me, because I'm an introvert, I spent a lot of time thinking and just like going through stuff. And I was like, okay, what went right? What went wrong? And so this has evolved, right, into a set of rules that get put in place. Why rules? And we call them non-discretionary rules. Okay, what does that mean? It means that you don't have discretion. You set up a rule, and the rule preempts your decision making. So you use your free will that the Creator gives us, and you create a rule on how your money is going to be managed, how you're going to allocate resources, okay, which gets into risk management. Okay, so a big part of it is money management, number one, and risk management, number two. And only once you got those two things down, then you do investing. The biggest mistake that people make, the biggest mistake I made in the past, was I did investments, one-off investments. I had no clue how to manage risk. Okay, we had the money management part down because that's how we were building up our capital. But we didn't. But I didn't have the risk management side. Okay. And the number one difference between amateur investors and professionals is amateurs focus on what they're going to gain. They chase gains. Okay. Professionals focus on risk. You want to look at the billionaires, the billionaire investors. Their focus is on risk management first. Okay, because you can't avoid risk. If somebody comes to you and says this is a risk-free investment, if anybody ever says risk-free return, right? Oh, it doesn't. There's nothing risk-free. Driving's not risk-free. You get in your car, you get hit by a semi. You know, you step. I mean, there's no such thing as risk-free. There's only such thing as how do you manage risk. Okay.
And risk actually plays a big factor into fear. It plays a big factor into stress and pressure as well. So you know who you are, you know what your personality is, and you want to know what your weaknesses are. Because if you happen to be one of those people that's like super risky and you know, like and if you look at the places where you've taken a lot of risk and have lost a lot, then there might be some other rules that you set for yourself. Like, how did I do this? Or how many times have I done this? For example, I think it's really important for us to talk about this. How many failures have we done in investing? Think of how many, because people get the wrong idea when they're listening from millionaires. And by the way, we live really frugal. I cook 6 nights a week for our family. I have done it on a very low budget. While our kids were still in the house, it was $100 or $100 a week to feed our family. We've driven older cars. We do not live in the biggest house in the neighborhood. We don't have the fanciest of clothes. We've chosen not to. And 100%, for example, of the income that I generate through the business that I'm responsible for, I don't take a salary and I don't touch the profits. The profits all go to housing the poor and the widow and the orphan and the sick. So I actually work for free. So if you're coming to here right now with some kind of judgment about that, you know, we make money from whatever's, pull your head out. We're really actually here trying to help you. But I can give you one. My first property that I purchased when I was 21, I bought it at the top of the market. I knew nothing about investing. It was an emotional decision. Somebody told me, and guess who it was? A realtor and a mortgage broker who said, oh, you can buy this. You know, all you need is $30,000 down and your payments will be $2,000 a month. I'm like, of course I can afford that. I was making over $80,000 a month at the time. And I was homeless the year before, you know, so I was young and stupid. So I lost on the very first property I ever bought. We actually had to live in that house for 5 years and we sold it for the same amount that we bought it for. Why? Because we knew nothing about real estate. We were not managing risk. It was nothing but an emotional purchase. And it was in a gated community with a guy at the gate 24/7. It had a lake and a golf course and all this ta-da stuff. It was a freaking apartment. Really, in all reality, it was a condo in the San Francisco Bay Area. Another huge financial mistake that we'd made, we lost $100,000, all of our savings in the stock market, March 17th of 2000. All of it gone. We had 100%. The dot-com bubble. Bust. We lost it all. We made mistakes in businesses. You want to talk about some of your couple of those. I just want them to get the idea.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
like,
inspired versus,
you know, getting
us
started
feeling
in
like we know
oil in Texas, you know, being introduced through a very close friend that was somebody I trusted, who introduced us to somebody that he trusted. And, you know, I mean, this happens. You have money and you're looking to do something with it, and people know that, you know. And so if you're an entrepreneur and your savings, this is the kind of thing that's going to happen to you, you know. And
even your Rocket Internet. He started an ISP, worked really hard.
going way back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's start from the history and go up. Like, we have screwed up a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
But that's how you learn.
That's how you learn. So don't be afraid of messing up. Don't be afraid of messing up. And it just as Hans says, and I love the way he says this because he's the first and only person I've ever heard it from. I was like, gosh, that makes so much sense and it's so true. And that is that the learning, the mistake, the failure, the financial investing failure is your education. It's going to pay you for a lifetime as long as you sit down and you write down, what did I learn here? And what are the new rules that you're setting for yourself? It doesn't mean you come out of the game. That's not what that means at all. It doesn't mean that you quit and you never try again. You know, when Hans was doing a lot of day training back in 2000, and, you know, it was looking like it was amazing. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm so proud of you.
I was the hero.
He
I
was,
was
right?
having $8,000 days. I was like, yeah.
Woo! You know, that was like so amazing. It was so sexy. And then March 17th, the same exact day at 8:30 in the morning, I was diagnosed with a fatal heart condition. The doctor said I couldn't fly, I couldn't work anymore, and we had to reduce my stress or I would die. I would drop dead of a heart attack and no one would be able to save my life. The side effect of my heart condition was sudden death, which meant no ambulance will get to you to save your life. That literally minutes after we got that phone call from the doctor, because we had a 5:30 a.m. appointment for all this diagnostics, 8:30 in the morning, we get this phone call. Minutes. I'm not kidding you. We were on the floor. We were crying when we get the diagnosis. The phone rings again. From
Broker,
Steve Lawler.
You need to come down. It was a margin call. You need to deposit $10,000. Right? The account was over, I don't know, 100. It was 100,000.
Yeah, lost it all.
Right?
We had
Why? No risk management, right? Over allocated into nothing but speculations. All these things that we're teaching you, sharing with you tonight, okay? So this has been developed through those mistakes, right? But so what happens is that there's the money management layer, there's the risk management, and then there's the specific strategy, the investment that you're doing, and everybody wants to focus on the specific, and so that's the first thing, because all it's information. Like, okay, let's take Bitcoin. This is a very relevant one right now, right? First of all, Bitcoin's not an investment; it's a speculation. You have no control. Now, what is it, a good or bad speculation? I don't know, right? Like, how do you make that decision? You have you have to have a system on how you make that decision, right? And that's what we do, is we have a formula. And you have ratios that you use, and that's what determines whether or not it's a good speculation or not. But it's a speculation because you don't control the price. Okay, you don't know what you're going to get when you sell it. Okay, and what ends up happening is people. So speculations are exciting. Investments, cash flow assets are boring. Okay, so what happens is people always over allocate into speculations. Very risky, no control. Okay, and they under allocate, or they don't do cash flow stuff at all. And so this feeds into the fear thing that she was talking about earlier.
It's a huge bug.
I'm gonna eat that thing. Give it to me. I'm gonna eat it. Okay. So what happens is that you get exposed to these ads. You see everything. We go through these cycles. Okay, we alternate between fear and greed. Okay, that's what happens in the mind. And so if you don't have a system and all you're doing is responding to information, oh, real estate's great right now, I should flip houses. Or you watch an infomercial, I should get into, or you hear a speaker and some speaker says, I do rental real estate and it's the best thing. And here's my program, sign up for it. So you sign up for the program, you learn rental real estate, but you don't have this foundation. So what's happening is you're building a house but you don't even know that there's no foundation there. Okay? And so maybe your house does okay. Maybe a storm doesn't come. You go, I'm a genius.
That's for a minute.
I'm a freaking genius. Okay? So you make money on that. You take that money and you build another house. Okay, this is figuratively speaking. Okay? So you do it again. So here's what happens with speculations is you leverage up. The whole time you don't realize there's no foundation. And then the storm hits. And total wipeout, right? We know somebody they made $8 million, right? $8 million in real estate.
11. That's who I think you're talking about. It's $11 million. They lost it all.
So they lost everything.
Yeah, and
they lost
ever recovered.
Everything, right?
Like for the next 40 years, they never
and this
ever
was back
recovered.
in the 70s, where that was
Yep.
that's a crap ton of money now. Okay, it's total wipeout. Why? Put it all in one big speculation. Why? Because that's what they knew.
Yep.
They already had all this success.
So then they were afraid, and a lot of questions came up when we were sharing about when we lost that same day that I got diagnosed with my heart condition, and the same day that we lost all of our savings, and now our income is going to be cut in half, and we have this gigantic house that we should have never bought. It was stupid, and we talk about that in War on Debt. And I've done a lot of television. We have a daily television show, and that show I talk a lot about money every single week. But how do we bounce back? Because a lot of questions are like, dang, how do you bounce back from that? And even some people said, man, I don't even have $1,000 to my name. Like, so this conversation of investing is like way over my head. Where do I start? I think it's important that we talk about that. Like, how did we bounce back from that one day, March 17th of 2000, where we lost $100,000, our entire life savings. Our business we knew was going to take a massive nosedive because a lot of it was dependent on a partnership that now was going away, meaning I was no longer going to be involved at all. The whole business model was changing. And so how do we bounce back? When Hans then came to me again, eventually, and it took years before you started investing in stocks again, what did you feel that what my attitude was towards you with that?
Well, I think that if you're okay, so and I'm sure it's the same way. I can only speak for myself, but as a man, it's like when you make a mistake, you feel like just a total loser, you know. And the problem, what happens is you don't want to do that again. Yeah. So now your motive is fear. And if you sow, okay, God will not be mocked. A man will not reap what he does not sow. So if you're sowing fear, then you can get caught in that cycle. So for me, it was like, okay, I don't want to let you down. I don't want to make this mistake because I was afraid. I was afraid that you're not going to.
How did you communicate the fear to me?
I don't know. How did I communicate it to you?
It was in control, usually. My perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were. You put yourself under a ton of pressure, and totally terrified of making a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you overthought a lot of things. You. Probably over-researched, like we're like over the top, more efficient than needed to be. Do you know what I mean? Like you exasperated things in that season of our life, trying not to make a mistake. Yeah. What did you think my attitude was in that season towards you?
I think that there was a lot of, I think you were afraid. I think you had fear. I think that you had...
Well, I had a heart condition.
Yeah, I think that there was a lot. I mean, I think this is normal. I think this is what happens, you know, in a married couple, you know, especially if there's different personalities or two very strong-willed people like we've been. And it was tough, you know. There were times where we weren't on the same page, where we thought differently, but we were kind of like, you know, shackled together. And so I think that, yeah, there was definitely, you know, again, that fear of making a mistake. And, you know, it took a long time. You know, a lot of battles and that resilience, you know, never giving up and just fighting through those battles.
Which I gave up for 4 years.
Yeah.
I gave up for 4 years. I went into a really deep depression and gave up on my vision of helping people and just was like done. I was just done. I never wanted to make money again.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of in a different kind of topic, but that was...
But it's part of making stupid investing mistakes. It's the result of it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But the thing is, so how do you recover? Is you might slow down, but you can't stop.
Exactly.
You've got to just dig down deep. You got to invest in yourself and your education. Yes. I mean, even during that season, I was working in a business that wasn't making any money.
Yep.
But I didn't realize this. But at the time, I was learning some crazy new skill sets, right? And that was really hard too. I was like, you know, feeling like crap, stuff we had made, you know, money before. We were in this season that just sucked and everything. It was super dark time. And, but so you have to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to pay that price, right? To not give up. You can't give up. You can't give up. What are you going to do? You're going to stop. You're going to just throw in the towel. You're going to never again, So you have to learn. You have to learn to self-educate, right? You get around people that can help, like what we're trying to do here tonight. Is just share some of that experience and some of those mistakes and failures and the answer, the solution. And so for me, it was like a process of many, many years. Love your light, baby. It's awesome. If I was a lizard, I'd just be like...
Or a frog. Oh my gosh. Only you. Only you. So
yeah, you gotta get off the freaking mat. Yeah. Damn straight,
And that is what he was doing. He was learning. I mean, I'm not kidding. He was reading programming books. He had programming books even on the back of the toilet. I mean, this guy learned how to program and build websites, and actually it's what took us into starting.
I ended up partnering with a direct response marketer and worked on a project that just was awesome. Took what we learned from our direct selling business and what I learned from her seminars over the years, because she was my second business coach and my second business, my first business mentor. And so took that and started applying it to direct response, right? Writing sales copy, doing ad campaigns, and combine the two with offline, online. And then 3 years later, we ended up starting DaniJohnson.com, launched that business. She started speaking again, built that website out, have had, tens of thousands and thousands and thousands of testimonials. I mean, I'm sure 100,000 now, right?
Far more than that. Honey, it only took 2.5 years to collect 10,000.
Far more than that, honey. Oh my gosh. So, how did that...
Be careful, you're gonna eat a bug.
I know. I think I sucked one in. So how does that happen? You gotta just dig down deep inside yourself, and just took a lot of years. So if you have a system, so just realize more information is not what you need. Okay? If you want to manage your money, if you want to succeed as an investor, you can't invest if you don't know how to learn to save. Okay, number one. So that's the first thing right there. I meet people all the time who are like, I want to invest. I'm like, how much money I've saved? Deer in headlights. So what are you going to do? You got to learn to save. You got to learn to save up your capital. And that's what we talked about last night. You never be a saver. If you can't, you will never learn to save if you're spending more than you make. If you don't learn to produce more than you consume.
Did you really swallow a bug? I think you did.
Okay, there's
suck one in.
There's steps here that happen. Okay, you don't just jump from A to Z, right? And that's the mistake that we make, because we hear these opportunities, we see ads on Facebook about freaking Bitcoin, or whatever, and we feel like we're missing out. I don't want to miss out. I got to do this thing, Our friend introduced us to a friend, and we got this money burning a hole in our pocket. So we're going to partner, and we're going to get started a business. Because why? We're financially illiterate. We don't know about all the opportunities. There's so many ways to make money out there. There is no lack of opportunity.
That's so
right?
true.
Capital is finite. Opportunity is infinite, right? But if we don't know, if we're not educated, right, then we will think that the only thing we're hearing about is the only opportunity. Right? And then so we do these things, we do this and we do that, and we don't have a system. We don't have, going back to what I was saying earlier, how we manage our money, right? How we manage risk, okay? Yeah. Then how we manage individual positions in different asset classes. So, anyway, I hope this time tonight was helpful for you, and I hope that it helps you to avoid some of the stupid mistakes, right? If you've got an income problem, right? If you want to increase your income, which everybody should have that goal in their life, right? And you say, well, I'm happy with the money I'm making. Good. Be happy with it and still grow your income, right? Like, duh. Like, give more, like do more, don't ever use, I'm satisfied. I don't want to be one of those people. Don't ever use that as an excuse for not doing more, better, right? Putting out more value, contributing more, okay? And learning and investing in yourself. We're in a season in history right now where this is not the time to be comfortable. right? The whole world is being rewritten right now, right? We're no longer in the information age. We're in the machine age, okay? And so, machines, artificial intelligence, it's going to be impacting our economy so radically. And so there are certain types of skills that you need to learn, that you need to develop. You should be looking at your life right now as, okay, now this is the beginning. What you know up to this point has gotten you to where you're at, but it's not going to get you where you want to go. So you have to continue to make that investment. And the events that Dani does, First Step Success, next one's going to be in
Cleveland, Ohio, July 9th, 10th, and 11th, or 8th, 9th, and 10th. I probably should have checked that. It's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all 3 days. You absolutely need to be there. And just as Hans said, grow your income. There's so much more you can do, many more people you can help in the world. That was my whole motivation with starting with Hans and DaniJohnson.com, was that we wanted to give more. And where we were financially at that time, we weren't able to give more. And so it's rather than having the desire to give more and just cry in the blues that you can't, go make more money. It's not that difficult to make that happen. And we will definitely show you how to double, triple, quadruple your income at the next First Steps to Success, as well as solve some of those interpersonal communication skills issues, fighting with everyone that's around you, people driving you crazy, how to solve problems with people, which actually will help you get a raise in your profession, as well as bring more harmony and peace in the house, and learn how to save money, learn how to find places where money is existing in your own household that you are completely unaware of. Your eyes are going to be open financially. You're going to start to learn how to keep the money that you're making, double the money that you're making, and then start to begin learning how to create wealth. So again, that's July. I think it's the 8th, 9th, and 10th. Yes, 8th, 9th, and 10th, Cleveland, Ohio. DaniJohnson.com is the website. There's tons of free videos on that website, including a daily television show. And if you're that kind of person that a weakness you have is accountability, meaning this, that, okay, yeah, thanks for the system, but you're just not really good at implementation of a system. You've heard lots of great information, but you don't know how to apply it. You don't know how to implement it into your personal financial situation. That's where Hans comes in. Starting tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Central, his class is beginning. You can find out more about that class. Bugs are flirting with us. You can find out more about that class at Wealth Builder. It's the app. It's the Wealth Builder app. You can find it in your app store with your smartphone. Wealth Builder. And is it wealthbuilder.com?
No, TrueWealthFormula.com.
Yeah, TrueWealthFormula.com. And this is really totally this is implementation. You're going to be work with him on 4 different classes, basically a 4-week cycle. And he's going to be on the phone with you with a small group of people. It's only a chosen handful of people, a little more than a handful. And he's going to be actually looking with you with your finances and helping to guide you on how to start making that cash flow not only grow, but also to really hold you accountable and finding where the money actually is and how to siphon it off into places where you're actually going to make money your slave. So there's tons of information out there. It's about a system. And he has the system. I'm so very, very blessed to have this man as my husband, who has not only done this with our marriage, with our personal finances, but he's also taught it to his children. His children have had the opportunity to do it, and they have done it. Each one of our kids, part of this system, they learned when they were very young. When they first started working, 12 years old, they started siphoning money into these 4 different places. And before they were 18, actually, there's only one that saved all that $20,000 by the time he was 18. But the other ones did it earlier. Erica reached it, I think, around 16 and a half, 17. Micah, 16 and a half, 17. Roman, I think, was 15 by the time he had saved $20,000. And so they've learned how to make investments. They have investments in stocks. They have rental properties. You can do the same. You can learn it. So if this man can teach his children the wisdom of a system and managing the money, you can learn this. Most of us never had that, right? I didn't have a parental situation where, well, first of all, I grew up on welfare, and so did he. So neither one of us had a family life where we were taught how to manage money, how to save it, how to turn it into our slave, how to multiply it, how to make investments, how to start a business. We didn't learn any of this from our family life, from our upbringing. And most people don't. So where else are you going to find someone that's willing to take time out of their life, their busy life, his family life, take time out of his business life to show you as a father would, as a brother would, as a friend would, as a coworker would. He's willing to do it, but you got to put some skin in the game. He's obviously not just going to do all that for free. He'd be stupid to, because you've got to have skin in the game. If this is free, if everything's free and too easy for you, you ain't going to benefit from it. So you got to put something in order to get something out. And so it's a super economical class, as bugs are flying all around us right now. Get a hold of it. And the Wealth Builder app is free. Get a hold of that right now. It's a free app. You can use it regardless if you take advantage of his class. You're going to have access to articles and information through that app. You also will have access to texting him. He communicates one-on-one with his clients that are a part of his coaching program. So you have that option. You cannot use an excuse any longer that you didn't learn the right way of living financially. You cannot use the excuse any longer that you didn't know where to learn how to become an investor and create wealth. You cannot use the excuse any longer that no one taught you how to pay off debt. You can't use the excuse any longer that no one taught you how to double, triple, and quadruple your income. He and I both are here to help serve you. We both can be sitting on a beach out in Bora Bora, sucking on a Mai Tai or a nice glass of red wine, enjoying ourselves for the rest of our life, playing with our grandkids, and not talking to you. Some people helped us along the way. We're giving of our time right now. Rather than being retired grandparents, we are working to help our nation change financially, because it seems like very few care about it, and those who are in high positions aren't doing anything about it besides sucking the countries dry. So next step is yours. Go to DaniJohnson.com. Click on events. Register for Cleveland, Ohio. I don't care if you have to fly from Australia. I don't care if you have to fly from China, Japan, from LA, from Washington, from Oregon, from Idaho, South and North Dakota. People will be flying from all over the world coming to that event. You don't want to be the one that misses out. You don't want to be the one that's still stuck by the end of summer wishing for a better financial situation. You're going to have one in your hands when you make this investment into yourself or your money back. If you do not learn something new that you can apply in those 3 days, we will be happy to give you your money back. Same with Hans for the Wealth Builder app. Get the app, download it, start participating with this free information there. And if you're really serious about finishing out this year without being broke again and not making the same stupid investing mistakes, you'll be a part of his class and a part of his coaching program, and you'll participate with it fully. So Wealth Builder in your app store, or TrueWealthFormula.com, or DaniJohnson.com.
Dani, I've said this many times, but I'm really, I'm constantly reading and researching.
Yeah.
And I'm very aware.
I know that.
Yeah. I'm
very,
very up on, the market and trends
Yep.
specifically.
Brilliant.
Big macro trends, and then also, kind of what's out there as far as opportunities for people. And, your events and what you do is the preeminent place for people to increase their income. There's not another resource out there or experience for people that, and I know you could tell stories all night long. I know last night we had hundreds of people posting their story in the comment section.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, I'm talking, and I mean, I know that how many people have shown up to these events
Broke, even homeless.
Where I know it's maybe not a nice thing to say, where you might look at them and think, boy, I don't know if they're gonna
many times
make it, and then they come back next time you see them, and all of a sudden, I mean, it's crazy. Some of the testimonies are nuts, right? And I focus on the income side, because if you're gonna make an investment in something, you should be able to calculate that return. But that, honestly, I mean, and the income is a done deal. Minimum double your income. Everybody on this right now, you should have a goal to double your income within the next year. Minimum, right? Why not? What else better do you have going on? The only thing is just what's in here.
That's it.
Right? The market pays for value. Mm-hmm. And the way you increase your values, you increase your skill set.
Yes.
That's it. Yes. So you learn. Yes. And you put yourself in an environment where it's going to bring that out of you. Yes. Right? And that's what these seminars are. That's what that environment is. But there's so much more that happens there. The relationships, the connections, the restoration, the families, there's kids that are showing up there that are starting businesses.
Making more money than adults. Seriously.
Ridiculous
it's crazy.
stuff.
In fact, let's do this, because stop listening from us, but if you are a client of DaniJohnson.com or of thetruewealthformula.com, please write in your testimony right now. Please just write it in. We can see there's hundreds and hundreds of people that are watching this right now. If you have been to First Step Success, please write in your story. If you have paid off debt, if you have doubled, triple, quadrupled your income, if you've increased your income, we have clients that have increased their income 400%, 1,000%. We've had people that were not in business that started businesses and learned how to grow that business. If you have any testimony at all for First Steps to Success, war on debt, grooming the next generation for success, your kids have started business, please type them in now. Let your fingers go crazy, because look at this. Melissa Sykes paid off $44,000 in 11 months, is totally debt-free, grew her income between 2 and 3 times more, cut her hours back to part-time. She was working around the clock as a newlywed, and now has traveled the world. She's feeding hundreds of orphans every single month. Before that, she says, we were strangled by debt, slaves to work, and I can't see the rest of that. Yeah, so please write it in. We have Scott Baker. I've paid off $20,000 and am paying off $2,000 in debt a month. How amazing. This is based on War on Debt, which you learned at First Steps to Success. Keep going. Please type in those stories. There are so many people who are about to give up right now. I'm not kidding you. There are people with a gun that they're looking at on their nightstand because they don't see another way. How do I know this? Because we've had those stories. We have had our clients literally divulge those very secret, dark places where they were before they came out to First Step Success. Taryn Liker, she was working 80 to 100 hours a week, cut her hours down to 20. I gotta scroll that back down. Her kids started a business and made $28,000. Where their kids learned at First Steps, they were 12 and 8 years old. In 7 months, they made $28,000. My gosh, these bugs are going crazy. Her marriage was restored. She cut her hours back. Oh my gosh. Ew. Christina Camper paid off $30,000 worth of debt in 6 months. She's feeding orphans now every single month. So glad. And she restored her marriage. Gustavo has paid off his car and personal loan and now working on his other debts. Dina says, I am obsessed with getting rid of my debt. Thanks to First Step Success. Love working on this goal. Dion Patron. Love her glasses. I love this girl. Increased her income 100% and paid off $11,000 worth of debt. David Schlut. Since going to First Steps to Success, my wife and I paid off $10,000 in debt in 1 month. And he says, I cut my work hours in half. He says, if you want similar results or better, you have to make it to Dani's event. Okay, there you go. Wendy Little says, I have my first savings account at age 56 and have put $2,300 in it since April 12th. Awesome. So proud of you, Wendy.
Good job.
This is amazing. So proud of all of these stories that we're reading. Tammy Zapier, who's now Tammy Price. She's paid off $457,500 worth of debt in 10 months. No longer depressed, no longer suicidal. Restored her relationship at the same time. Got promoted also in her job. She's completely debt-free and has paid cash for a house. Owes nobody nothing. That's amazing. Brianna Jane, she says she now lives on less than 70. Whew, that one almost got swallowed. Lives on less than 70% of her income. Gives 10 to 20% of her income to the needy. $20,000 in savings now. First time ever having savings, and she is debt free. Gosh, so amazing. Christine Hernandez, paid off $36,000 worth of debt in 36 months and doubled her income. Sam Bart has an amazing story. At 18, was close to poverty and moments away from food stamps. At 21, he says, I'm very close to 6 figures through my job. Look at this storm of bugs. And growing business debt-free, $23,000 in net worth, thanks to First Step Success. He started coming to First Steps when he was 13 years old. His mom his mom, first of all, it saved his mom's life, saved his parents' marriage. Mom paid off $80,000 worth of debt. They couldn't even afford their first event. Her husband was making $600 a month, failing as having a janitorial business. And Sam was a suicidally depressed, overweight 13-year-old who was doing drugs, even went to jail, I think. Yes, he was arrested for selling drugs at high school. Kid is a completely different kid today. So your children, July is a great month. July is a great month to bring the entire family, as long as the kids are old enough to pay attention. We've had 5-year-olds in there who have learned to start businesses, actually left the event, knocking on doors, starting a dog picking up poop business, and made enough money to pay for their next event, and made enough money to help build houses. Poop business. Build houses for the poor.
Poop pickup.
We got Dill, Michael Dill. They just say his name is backwards on there. Came to First Steps directly after our wedding, and I have started our marriage off on the right foot. We communicate much better after GEMS, which is our personality training. 86, that one tried to go up my nose. $86,000 in debt paid off in 5 months, and we will be debt-free in under 4 years. Brianna Jane now is debt-free. Janet Bloodworth, after attending First Steps to Success, I was $38,000 in debt and miserable. I had no idea how to manage my money. I was spiritually a wreck. After attending, darn it, it's cut off. Hi, Lisa. So good to see you here. Yes, you do need to do this, girl. Caitlin Hawkins. Let's see. We got Mickey Wade, paid off $52,000 worth of debt in a year and a half, cut his hours back, and marriage is doing amazing, spending more time with his kids thanks to First Steps to Success. David Cook. Overworked, underpaid contractor working 90 to 100 hours a week. Never saw my wife and children and was drowning in debt. Now doubled my volume of my business, hired people, cutting my hours to save, and paid off $70,000 worth of debt, and now credit card debt free. There's a father, a businessman, a husband who came to First Steps Success and learned how to change his life. Are you eating them? Or now it's flying in your eye? Pooh. So guys, please keep typing in your stories, because the bottom line is documentation beats conversation. So anyone can have whatever opinion they want about what's taking place in July. And by the way, 100% of the proceeds from that event in Cleveland goes straight to the poor. Straight to the poor. We're building 1,000 homes for the extreme poor. We are taking care of 10,000 orphans every single month. We're building water, supplying water for over 650,000 people every single day. And that happens with the proceeds that come out of that training seminar, First Step Success. So it's not about making my pockets fat. I don't get paid to do that event. I speak and train for those 3 solid days to help you to succeed. And then at the same time, you and I are taking care of those who cannot take care of themselves. So go get yourself registered right now. Quit living your excuses. It is time to step out of it. It's time to end the summer that hasn't even begun yet with more money in your pocket. It's time to end the summer with a raise in your job or in your business. It's time to end the summer with less debt. It's time to end the summer with more financial security. It's time to end the summer with maybe your first investment or a nice fat savings account that you have started. That is going to happen if you are at Cleveland, Ohio, July 8th, 9th, and 10th. That's Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all 3 days, First Steps to Success. Don't screw yourself again. Quit cheating yourself. Quit cheating your children. Quit cheating your family. Quit cheating your boss. Quit cheating your own business, whatever it is that you're involved in. Quit cheating and looking for the easy scapegoat way out. There's one way up, and it's a hard way. You got to learn, and you got to work. There ain't no cheating to create wealth, if you want wealth to be generational. There's only one way. Learn, work. Learn, work. Learn, work. Have you ever thought that maybe there's something you don't know? Huh? Have you ever thought that there's something that you might need to learn? Have you ever thought that maybe you could possibly learn to never return to the financial situation that you're in right now? Well, if that's you, I'll see you in Cleveland, Ohio. And if it's you, get on the Wealth Builder app with Hans Johnson. What is such an awesome honor to be able to have this man available. He used to not want to do anything to help anybody. It's true. He now has made himself available. He has. He's gotten a heart for men, especially, to help families to succeed, to help fathers not be afraid and covering up all that fear with a lot of overdosing of risk-taking or overdosing of other things, whatever it is that husbands and fathers have done to cope with the fear and the pressure. He wants to see families get strong again. I want to see families get strong again. And it's time that we all rally together to make that happen. And we can do it, no question. So Wealth Builder app in your app store.
When you get that app, make sure and register a free account, because that'll get you access to some free content in there that you don't get if you don't register an account.
Yeah.
And the class starts tomorrow. There's probably only room for about maybe five more people, honestly. Cool. And it's not cheap to get in the class. You know, there's a saying that says, you know, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. And that's so true, because the mistakes you make cost so much, right? But this class that we're starting tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central, it really is designed to be a small group of people. We're going to build that system. We're going to go, and it's an implementation, right? Class, basically.
You cannot flirt with my husband.
And so we're going to set those rules in place for you, and we're going to cover the mindset and the exact strategies, exactly what I'm doing today to manage our money, to manage our wealth, to invest, the rules that I use, how I manage, how I do the risk management. And then in the last class, we're going to go through. We have up to 30 different ways for you to make investments, from one where you can get 1 to up to 20% compound return. Right, and everybody wants to know what that is up front, but that's what you get at the end of it, because now you have this structure and the system, and you know where it fits in your system, and you know how to manage the risk, right? Yeah. And you're not just going off and saying, "Oh, so and so said I could do this and I can make X, Y, Z with my money," you know.
You learn to think for yourself.
You learn to think for yourself. You're gonna have your own system. You're gonna have
it fits your personality and fits your family, fits your finances, custom made for you, not somebody else telling you what to do or how to live. You learning to live and think for yourself and make decisions for yourself, which is the greatest gift anyone could ever teach you how to do. You don't want to be dependent on people for everything, for every one of your thoughts or direction for your life. You've got to learn how to think it out yourself, because at the end of the day, you're responsible for all of it. Every decision you make, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm tired of eating bugs. What about you?
Oh, I love eating bugs. I'm going to stay out here all night long and eat bugs.
Yeah. All right.
It'll make me appreciate your food more.
What did you have for dinner tonight? What did I make you for dinner tonight?
It was amazing. She made the most incredible, what kind of fish was that?
Red snapper.
Oh my God, it's so awesome.
And cauliflower and spinach and this amazing rice.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was yummy. All home cooked. Every meal. You get home cooked meals.
I know.
Every day.
I'm spoiled. Spoiled by this amazing, beautiful, incredible woman.
I am very blessed by this amazing man. So, all right. God bless you. With that, good night.
Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
God bless you.